This is Dr. Chandrakant Jurkar presenting the topic substructure, that too shallow foundation. What is substructure? Substructure is the lower portion of the building which is located below ground level, which transmits the load of the superstructure to the subsoil, and it includes foundation. So what is substructure? The lowest artificially prepared part of the structure. The lowest artificially prepared part of the structure which transmit the load of superstructure to the underneath soil or soil below the superstructure, and it is called as substructure. It is also called as foundation. So what is foundation? The lowest artificially prepared part of the structure which transmit the load of the superstructure to the soil below it is called as substructure. It is also called as foundation. So this substructure is having its one functions, its one use. So what is use of foundation, or what are the functions of this foundation? Very first function is to provide a level surface. So this foundation, it provides a level surface, level base to the building. Then it distributes the load evenly. This foundation, it distributes the load which is coming from the building evenly to the underneath soil. It reduces the load intensity. This foundation, it reduces the load intensity. If no foundation is there, in that case the load from the superstructure may get concentrated to any one part, and in that case there is possibility of settlement or failure of the building. The soil does not fail in shear in case of this, as it provides a base. So it reduces the possibility of shear failure of the soil. And last is the settlements are within permissible limits due to this foundation. So these are the functions of foundation. I had arranged these in reverse chronological order. Now there are mainly two types of foundation. One is called as shallow foundation and second is called as deep foundation. So in this video we shall discuss only shallow foundations. So when foundation is called as shallow foundation, when the depth of foundation is equal to or less than the width of foundation, then it is called as shallow foundation, also known as open foundation. So this is shallow foundation and this is deep foundation. When the depth of foundation is less than or equals to width of foundation. So here approximately from this you can see this depth of the foundation is less than or equals to width of the foundation. It is called as shallow foundation. A shallow foundation is placed immediately below the lowest part of the structure. A footing is a foundation unit constructed in brickwork, stone masonry or concrete. It may be of brick masonry, stone masonry or concrete, and its purpose is to distribute the load in the wider area. So this is foundation. Now under this shallow foundation there are different types. Very first is spread footings, then combined footings, strap or cantilever footing, mat or raft foundation or footing. Under this spread footing, single footing, step footing, slope footing, wall footing and grillage foundation. These are different types. Under combined footing, rectangular combined based on shape, trapezoidal combined and combined column wall footing. So based on the shape, we shall discuss one by one. Spread footing. The spread footings are those which spread the superimposed load of wall or column over a large area. The spread footing support either a column or a wall. The spread footing are those which spread the superimposed load of wall or column over a large area. So these are the different types of spread footing. The spread footing may be of following kinds. Already we have discussed. We shall discuss one by one. So very first is stepped footing. Very first footing is step footing. Very first footing is single footing for a column. Single footing for a column. A spread footing for a single column is either known as isolated footing or pad footing. So this is a single footing for column. It is also called as isolated footing. In this case, the footing may consist of simple concrete block projecting out from the column face of the wall sides. The base dimension of the concrete base should not be less than twice the approximate lateral dimensions of the column in that direction. The thickness of concrete block should at least be equal to side offset from the column face. So this is about dimensions, but at this level, single footing for a column. So a spread footing for a single column is either known as isolated or pad footing. So this is the single footing for a column. It may be rectangular, it may be square. So here it is of rectangular type. So in case of this is the single footing. Now next is stepped footing. So here in case of this type of steps are provided. In that case it is called as step footing. So why step footing is provided? If the column load is more or if shape bearing capacity of the soil is less, the base area will be large. So when the load carried by this column is large or shape bearing capacity of the soil is less, in that case the base area of this footing will be large, right? And at the same time, if same base area is constructed up to this level, in that case it will be uneconomical. To achieve the economy, in that case area will be large, but concrete can be saved by providing the steps. In such a case it has to provide a offsets. So this type of offsets are provided and it is called as step footing. So simply you remember, in case of step footing, steps are provided and this type of footing is provided when load carrying capacity or bearing capacity of soil is less and load carried by the column is large. So in case of this, large base area will be required, and to reduce the concrete steps are provided. So it is called as step footing. Now next is slope footing for a column. So more commonly used footing is slope footing for a column. These are also known as isolated column footing or individual column footing. They are projections in concrete base. So this is called as slope footing. It is also called as isolated column footing. And this is the more commonly preferred column footing. Everywhere you will find this type of footing. Due to the low bearing strength, the footing is constructed with brick, stone or plain concrete required to considerable depth to be safe to carry heavy loads. The depth of plain concrete footing can reduce much by providing reinforcement as it is based to take up tensile stresses. RCC column footing may be circular, rectangular or square in plan. So in case of this slope footing, it is also called as isolated column footing. So this type of footing is provided, and normally for residential building it is preferred, slope footing. Next is wall footing without step. Wall footing, it is also called as strip footing, which provides a continuous longitudinal bearing. Thus a spread footing for a continuous wall is called as strip footing. Strip means, you can say strip means putty, right? So in case of load bearing walls, normally for complete length of the wall this type of footing is provided and it is called as strip footing. So in case of load bearing walls in villages, for village houses this type of strip footing is preferred. When the wall carries light loads and the shape bearing pressure is very high, width of the footing may be very small. In such a case the wall directly rests on the concrete base and no masonry offsets are provided. So it is called as strip footing. So in villages, for village houses, whatever footing is provided comes under strip footing. So this strip footing is completely provided for throughout the length of wall. Now step footing for wall. When the wall carries heavy loads and the shape bearing pressure of the soil is not very high, the base width required may be much greater. In such a case, the masonry offsets are provided to achieve low spread before the load is transferred to the concrete base. In case of typical wall footing, the lowest course of the brick will have twice the width of the wall above at plinth level. The base width of the wall is achieved by providing 5 cm offsets on both sides of the wall. The depth of each course may be 10 to 20 cm. At this level, you simply remember step footing. So in case of this step footing, When the wall carries heavy loads and shape bearing capacity of soil is less, in that case this type of footing is provided. And in case of this, here offset is given, 5 centimeter offset is given in the wall. So this is called as stepped footing. Now next is grillage foundation. So normally the grillage foundation is used in case of steel structure. A grillage foundation is an isolated footing provided when heavy structural loads from columns, piers or steel stanchions, steel stanchions means steel columns, are required to be transferred to a soil having low bearing capacity. When grillage foundation is provided, it is provided as a isolated footing when heavy structural loads from these columns or piers or steel column, that is stanchions, are required to be transferred to the footing. In that case, grillage foundation is provided. It is lighter and more economical, for which deep excavation is not required and provides more area at the base. So here more area at the base is required so that the intensity of pressure can be reduced within the shape bearing capacity of soil. So this is called as grillage foundation. Grillage foundation, now here I have discussed, it is normally provided for steel structure. So steel grillage foundation. So in case of this, you will find the members. This is a steel stanchion, this is a steel column, then this is the gusset plate, this is the gusset plate from both the sides, this is also a gusset plate, then angle cleat to fix this to the column to this angle. This is an angle. Here you can see the thickness. It is difficult for you to visualize this, but this is the angle thickness, and this is the base plate below the angle. And here this type of joist are provided having eye sections. It rests on this, again below this again it is a joist having eye section. This is the thickness of the top rib, and this is the thickness of the bottom rib, and this is the inner web. It is a little bit difficult for you to visualize this, but this is the steel grillage foundation. It may be of timber. Now coming to combined footing. Next type of footing is combined footing. As its name suggests, a combined footing is a single footing which supports two columns. Combined footing is a single footing which supports two columns. So when this combined footing is used, when the columns are very near to each other so that their footings overlap, when distance between two columns is less and the footings below these individual columns may overlap, when the bearing capacity of soil is less. At the same time, when the end column is nearer to a property line so that its footing cannot spread in that direction. So due to these three reasons, a combined footing is provided. Two columns are rested on a single footing, so it is called as combined footing. It is called as a combined footing. So under this combined footing, there are different types. Rectangular combined footing, so this is a rectangular combined footing. Trapezoidal combined footing, so this is a trapezoidal combined footing. And combined column wall footing. Combined column wall footing. So here rectangular and trapezoidal is shown. So very first is rectangular combined footing. So here rectangular combined footing is shown. So when distance between two columns is small, it is not possible to provide a footing to the end column when there is a projection, and in case of when soil bearing capacity is less, this type of footing is provided. Based on the shape, rectangular footing, and based on the shape again trapezoidal footing. If columns carry unequal loads, then footing of trapezoidal shape are provided. So here, if load carried by this column is less, so you can reduce the foundation area. Here load carried by the column is more. So in case of this, to achieve the economy, this type of trapezoidal footing is provided. So this is regarding combined footing. So when combined footing is provided, columns are very near to each other, bearing capacity of soil is less, and end column is nearer to a property line. So from this side, if another property is there and not possible to provide He said this is not provided, it is not possible to provide a foundation for this column. In that case, combined footing is provided. And in this case, the footing may be eccentric footing. Now next is a strap footing. A strap footing consists of two footings of individual columns connected by a beam called as strap. Why footing is called a strap footing? Because in case of this, the columns are connected with the help of beam, which is called as strap beam, and footing is called as strap footing. So strap footing is provided. When it is provided, when distance between two columns is so great that combined footing will be uneconomical. So combined footing is provided when distance between two columns is small. But when distance between two columns is large, it is not possible to provide combined footing. So in that case, strap footing is provided. It is not possible to take the footing exactly below the column due to projections. So here, it is not possible to take the footing exactly below the column due to adjoining property. So this column is taken to one face. So central it cannot be located on this footing. In that case, strap footing is provided. So here eccentric footing is taken, and then these two footings are connected, columns are connected with the help of strap beam. So it is called as strap footing. So this is all about strap footing. Next is a raft or mat foundation. As its name suggests, it is a raft, means complete raft is constructed. It is also called as mat foundation because complete mat is formed below the foundation. That's what is called as raft or mat foundation. A raft or mat is a combined footing that covers the entire area beneath the structure and supports all the walls and columns. It is provided under following circumstances. When this raft or mat foundation is provided, the complete area below the building is covered with the help of foundation, or complete with the help of mat, or completely with the help of raft. It is called as raft or mat foundation. So when it is provided, when the bearing capacity of soil is low, the area covered by spread footing would be more than one half of the building area. Raft foundation is also used to reduce settlement above highly compressible soils. So here, raft foundation is provided when bearing capacity of soil is less and area covered by this individual footing is more than 50% of the total building area. In that case, the raft or mat foundation is provided. So complete area is covered with the help of steel, and it is concreting is done. It is called as raft. Like this, it is called as a raft. It is also called as mat because complete mat like structure will get formed. Hope you are understanding the concepts of foundation. So this is all about various types of shallow foundations.